Okay, round two. I recorded a 17-minute video, and then I just realized that I was rambling, and it wasn't very exciting. So we're starting again. Hey, how's it going? I figured that I would start with just a bit of a here's my trading background, so that you know what I've done, where I've come from, where I'm at now. Before I do another video a little bit later, that's going to be my first trading journey journal kind of me speaking to the internet void. So until we get there a little bit later today, here's my story. I first encountered trading financial markets in 2019 at a Success Resources seminar where I met my very first coach, Sandy Jadeja, and I'm eternally grateful that he is my coach. I've since then, as a result, I've only wanted to learn from people through courses or through live whatever who have traded on actual trading floors in whatever international markets. So at least I've got that understanding from people who've been in a way on the inside. So Sandy, to this day, is my foundation, and I'm very glad that I received that. His method of teaching, or his method of training is, for at least the class that I went to, was intraday. In other words, day to day, or another way of calling it is swing trading. And the methodology made sense, but that I realized later down the line that that's not my personality and it's not my trading style. It's not how I like to operate. I've been playing video games my whole life. I'm very good at looking at a screen all day. I enjoy it. And so naturally, it just makes sense for me to be a day trader / scalper, because that's my personality. So you have to know your personality and find a trading methodology in line with your personality. So Sandy's recommendation back then in 2019, and obviously you don't know what you don't know, and at the same time, when you're absolutely new at something, all you can do is follow what you learn to the letter. So back then, his recommendation was start with an account, which is a minimum of $2,000, which as a South African making rands, very difficult to save that kind of money, especially if you're earning mid to lower class kind of income. So I spent a good couple of months after learning from Sandy saving up my account. I managed to save $1,000, and I did 3 live trades consecutively. So day 1 I did a trade, day 2 I did a trade, day 3 I did a trade. The first 2 days, according to Sandy's rules, I did 50 cents. Or the first 2 days, according to the rules, was start with the open of the Dow Jones and look for a specific entry and a specific point exit. And so as a practice, I did 50-cent trades. And as luck would have it, I managed to, on day 1 and on day 2, get 20 points, because that's what I was looking for as well. So I was like, ooh, wow, okay, cool. Maybe I'm, like really good at this. So the third day, I did a $5 trade per point, and also very lucky, managed to get $20. So, my 20 points, which I can't remember exactly, might have been a little bit more, but I think I earned my first real $100. And I just remember the emotional whoop for joy and shouting as loud as possible, because I was like, yes, finally I'm good at something. I've tried so many things for so many years. This makes sense. And look how great I am. And subsequently later that day, I was very humbled because that was when I made my first $100 loss, and then the next $100 loss. And yeah, I learned some great lessons that day. 1, if you have a system of rules in place for how to trade, don't break your rules. 2, know that it will absolutely hurt when you lose, as a first timer as well. And in addition to that, I learned if something is going at a loss, just cut it. Don't wait for it to come back to break even, because then it gets worse. And that's exactly what I did. And funnily enough, I'm busy reading this book. If you know the trading industry, you probably know exactly who this author is, so it needs no explanation. The very first person that he talked about said the exact same thing. So I learned that lesson very quickly. If you're running at a loss, cut. Don't wait for it to come back to break even, because usually it gets even worse. The way that I've interpreted it in my brain is trading is a game of probabilities. You can have the perfect system in place. Well, according to your style, you can have the perfect emotional, psychological system in place. In addition to that, you can place your trade in accordance with the system, but you cannot ultimately say that it's going to be a win or a loss because the market will do its own thing. Don't chase money. Let the money come to you and just play the game of probabilities. And so subsequently, if you're playing a game of probabilities, you're looking at everything that's going on the screen. You're making a decision, long or short. That's your decision. And then you press the button. That's your first decision and only decision that needs to happen. Because anything that happens after that, again, if it's not in line with what you've planned for in your system while your trade is active, then your mind is immediately going into second probability mode. What if? Oh, maybe this. Oh, what if? And that's a problem. Because here is a probability while the trade is live, and here's a probability while the trade, while you're thinking about getting in. You've placed one. Stick with that probability. And if it doesn't work, you don't need to play like if, but, what if, blah, blah, blah. You're wrong. Just get out. Save your money. You don't know what's going to happen. You can just play the game to the best of your ability with your edge in accordance with your rules. So I learned that very quickly, fortunately. And then the final thing I learned was the pain of losing $100. And fortunately, I had the psychological fortitude to say, I can deal with this, I can tolerate this, and I'm actually glad that it happened. Because if I can know how this feels, I can also know how it would potentially feel to lose even more. Because one day I am going to be trading at higher levels, and one day there is going to be a trade that will happen that's going to be even bigger than $100 at a loss. I can stomach this. This is okay. But it's time for me to do my homework. And that's what led me into the next stage of my trading apprenticeship. Let's put it that way. Sandy had a massive list of books that he recommended that you read. And all my money that I was making just went into buying those books internationally from Amazon, figuring out how I could make some extra cash. Because I thought maybe I was wrong, but with trading with $1,000, maybe I needed $2,000. And in that regard, I think that's okay, because you can be an absolute noob and start with a gazillion dollar account and still have an ego or a chip on your shoulder and still lose a stupid amount of money because you're still a noob. So rather have a little bit less and be okay with that, as opposed to having a lot and knowing that there will be pain if you lose all of that. So I'm glad that that was the situation at the time. So that was that kind of little window of time. Then there was COVID, and Sandy did a ton of live coaching Zoom webinars through Success Resources, and I purchased pretty much every single one that he did through a period of a year or so. So that was great. It was a reinforcement of my learning, and it was also learning just a couple of extra things. Even though I wasn't actively trading live, I still to this day, those live trades were 2019. To this day, I haven't done another live trade, and I wasn't actively doing demo trading either. It was all just like, cool, I don't really understand things, at the level that I want to understand things at. Let me just keep trying to learn, while at the same time keep trying to figure out how I can earn some extra income. All those different ideas or actions did end up failing, but it was all just a continuous, let me just keep trying. When the world opened up again after COVID, then I think for about 2.5 years, something very interesting happened. The way that I understand things from a spiritual perspective is that the universe will continuously keep hitting you with a thing that you need to learn. It'll keep slapping you in the face. And if you don't learn it, it will just continue to slap you in the face further until you learn the lesson. And so for about 6 months, for about 2.5 years, so a cycle of 6 months, there was a lesson that I should have learned that I just wasn't aware of until 2.5 years later, until that final cycle. And that lesson was this. For about 5 months, I'd save money, see what I could do to try and make some extra money. Save. Put that into my trading account, or put that into buying another course or whatever. Just trying to figure that out, because I knew that trading would be my first real fortune. And I'd save for 4 months or 5 months, and then on the 5th month, on that final cycle month, something would happen. Something major that would need financial attention. And all that money that I'd saved for that past 4 or 5 months or whatever I'd completely drain the account to zero, so I could have rands to pay for a brand new laptop or to pay for the car repair or whatever. Imagine going through that for 2.5 years. I cannot begin to tell you how frustrating it was, but it was at the same time crucial to my development. Because when the lesson did finally hit my head after being slapped for so long by the universe, that's when I finally just stopped and said, okay, clearly there's stuff that I need to handle. And that stuff was internal. I needed to do a lot of internal work. And so that's what I did for the next 2 years, something like that. My trading journey has been 5 years. So I might be over-embellishing the time amount, but this is kind of the journey. I can't necessarily remember exactly, but how long it's been in between each kind of stepping stone, but this is the journey. So finally, I just paused for about 2 years, and I just started looking and doing the inner work that I needed to do. Because at the end of the day, I was chasing the money. I was desperate. And so I needed to detach myself emotionally from that and be okay with that. I needed to do a whole bunch of other work. From a trading perspective, I also realized and needed to discover methodologies for the kind of personality, like myself and others, who are active day traders, who are the kind of people that like fast moves, that like to be in and out. And I needed to work through all those different things, and also work through the second hurdle that I mentioned in my video yesterday, which is realizing that there's no magic indicator or no magic strategy. And a lot of people who come into the trading world, they can be stuck in that cycle, trying to overcome that second hurdle for their entire career until they drop out. So I'm so glad that I finally realized that. So let's talk about where I'm at now. Now, I've been actively, still with my demo, actively looking at 3 markets. The indexes, Dow, Jones, DAX, and Japan Nikkei 225. The way that I like to call it, and Sandy, how I've been taught and how I've heard other podcasters, I've been watching a lot of Tory trades at the moment. The way that they like to talk about it is you're dating. You're dating a market. You kind of want to see if it's good for you. So here's what I've observed so far. DAX and I, we work well together. I get some great profitable trades from DAX, and then Dow comes and just slaps me in the face, and I lose all of them. So Dao and I, we have issues. We have issues. I am considering stepping away from Dao. I'm considering it. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to give Dao a little bit more chance. I do think I'm going to come back to Dao at a later stage in my journey. But I'm considering stepping away. Just because it's tricky. Dao and I, we got issues, okay? So either we'll sort them out and we'll move forward, or we'll take a break, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. Japan. Let's talk Japan. Japan is my way out. I know Japan is my way out. With the bottom of my heart and soul, Japan is my way out. And I'm really looking forward to that. Japan's going to be my first fortune. I haven't spent that much time with Japan, honestly, but I do have a deep knowing that Japan is my first fortune. Let's see if, in retrospect, in a couple more videos, if that is true, but deep, I know it is. Again, I could be wrong, but there's a knowing. And I have to follow my intuition. So I haven't actively spent much time with Japan, simply just because the time zones are crazy, and also because this past month and a bit has been crazy too for me to wake up and trade Japan. I tried also yesterday and woke up 3:30, alarm was set, and instantly just felt nauseated because yesterday I was a little bit sick. And so I just said, okay, Adam, you're going to be working today. Just relax. Go back to sleep. Japan isn't going anywhere. Japan's waiting for you. You got to do what you need to do. So of these next couple of days, the whole rest of the week is a bit of a write-off, to be honest. It's an exciting one, though, because I'm still doing stuff that I passionately enjoy. I'm working with one of my very good friends at Comic-Con Africa. And it's just going to be a blast, man. I can't wait. It's quality time with a quality buddy, and we're just going to be having some fun. I'm working at his exhibit, and I'm just doing whatever I can to make sure that he has a smooth, easy time while he's there. And it's going to be a blast, man. It really is. I'm really looking forward to that. I've got another friend who's getting married tomorrow, and because it's our circle of friends, it's just going to be so much fun. We all haven't gone together, at least with me being there, in a long time. It's just going to be so much fun. And then next week is another one of my jobs, or another one of my ways of earning income. It's probably the most crucial days of the year in that particular job, first week or so of October. So I've just decided to be at peace with that. It's okay. The market's always going to be there. So whatever frustration you might be having, sometimes you can't trade when you want to. You have to make peace with that. It's okay. Just relax and let some other synchronicities or serendipities come your way. You have to be in the now. Just be present. It's okay. So in the interim, I got this book and I'm going to be reading it. I've had this book collecting dust on my shelf for like 3 years. So finally I'm going to be reading it. And that's my story. I'm now waiting today. Here's how I'm going to end off this video. I'm not waiting. I'm going to wait until 9 p.m. my time for the final hour of Dow Jones. We're going to go on another date for an hour or so, and then we'll see how that goes. I'll post my observation in a follow-up video, and then that's that. We're done. I'll see you in a good couple of days. And till then, I hope that you enjoyed the video. If not, that's okay. That's also okay. Like I said, I'm waiting to become, as soon as I'm profitable, then I can afford to outsource. I can afford to buy the juggernaut video editing laptop that I've always wanted. For now, I'm okay with this. And I'm also okay if nobody sees this. And I'm also okay with this just being here, because I think it's important for my journey. I'm doing this for me, and if it helps you, lovely. Okay, all the best, friends. Go well.